and welcome again to Yahweh's New Moon Feast. Welcome to the keepers of the House of Light. My name is Obadiah ben Israel, and beginning to my left.
Hey, brother. Shabbat Shalom. Yehuda ben Israel.
Shalom, brother. Praise
Yah, man.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Once again, we want to welcome everyone to tonight's New Moon Feast. This is a commanded feast that Yahweh commanded that we keep in all our generations and in all our dwellings. So who are we? We are the keepers of the House of Light, and we are dedicated to spreading the righteousness, the love, mercy, and forgiveness of our Father Yahweh Elohim of hosts by and through his Son Yeshua HaMashiach, the Lamb of Yahweh, the King of Israel, the High Priest, and our Redeemer and our Savior, whose name is blessed forever.
Yeah.
We are here to teach and proclaim the gospel of Yeshua, who magnified the law of Yahweh and made it honorable.
Praise Yah, brother.
Praise Yah.
Hallelujah.
So once again, tonight's new moon, tonight is the new moon feast, rather. And tonight's title of the class is entitled, The Signs of the Times.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. The Signs of the Times. There's a lot going on in the earth.
Man, that's a title. Yeah. You got a class, brother. That's an interesting title.
It's a lot going on, man. And it's a lot of fear mongering going on. There's a lot of, people. I think they're a little antsy.
You well said. Well said. You're right.
And so we just wanted to see if we could proclaim something to the people and just read Yahweh's words and read what the Mashiach had to say pertaining to these things.
Hallelujah.
So we don't jump the gun.
That's right, brother. You're right. Jumping the gun.
Yes.
That's good language. I like that.
Praise Yah. So once again, the title of tonight's class is Signs of the Times. Before we begin, though, let us, my elder, if we could go to the book of Numbers, chapter 28, and let's get the legal authority for us to be able to keep tonight's new moon feast.
Okay. Let me just read the Shema.
No, forgive me.
No. Let me read the Shema first. And definitely we're going to get that authority. So I'll just, it's me and you tonight, Obi.
Yeah.
But we want to just, send out our prayers for our brothers that are not here, Brother Uriah.
Yes.
And so we just praise Yah for that. But we're going to read the Shema, and the Shema is found in the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. That's the Shema. And I'm going to go ahead and read it. And as Brother Uriah would explain, Shema, the Hebrew word for Shema is Shema. And it means to listen. And as that brother would break it down, listen not only to not just keeping the Shema, but the statutes, all these things.
That's right.
So we're going to see that right now. Deuteronomy chapter 6, verses 4 and 5. Hear, O Israel, Yahweh, our Elohim, is one Adonai. And thou shalt love Yahweh, thy Elohim, with all thine heart, and with all thy soul, and with all thy might. And that's the Shema.
Praise Yah.
And we're going to go to the Gospel of Matthew, and some may say Mataniah, the Gospel of Matthew, chapter, make sure I'm reading chapter 34. I'm sorry, Matthew chapter 22, verses 34 through 40. Again, Matthew chapter 22, verses 34 and 40. And this is a conversation where the Pharisees and Sadducees are talking to the Messiah, Yeshua.
Yes, sir.
And let's see what they had to say.
All right.
Verse 34. But when the Pharisees had heard that he had put the Sadducees to silence, they were gathered together. Then one of them, which was a lawyer, asked him a question, tempting him and saying, Master, which is the great commandment in the law? Yeshua said unto him, Thou shalt love Yahweh thy Elohim with all thy heart, and with all thy soul, with all thy mind. This is the first and great commandment. And the second is like unto it. Thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. On these two commandments hang all the law and the prophets. And as you said, brother, this is Yeshua magnifying the law.
That's right.
He's making it even more honorable in the spirit.
Praise God.
And let's stay in the book of, let's stay in the Gospel of Matthew, and now go to Matthew chapter 18, and we're going to read one verse there, verse 20. The Gospel of Matthew, chapter 18, verse 20. For where two or three are gathered together in my name, there am I in the midst of them. Praise God for that. It's two of us tonight. Praise God. So we know the Mashiach Spirit is with us. Spirit of truth is here with us. Hallelujah.
Praise God.
And that is I'm sorry. And no, that is the reading of our introduction for the Shema and reading out of the Gospel of Matthew.
Praise God. So now we want to give the legal authority for us to keep this Holy New Moon Feast that Yahweh has set aside and blessed.
Okay.
So we're going to go to the law books. We're going to go to the Torah. We'll go to the book of Numbers, chapter 28.
Okay.
And we want to read verses 11 through 15.
Okay.
That's Numbers, chapter 28, verses 11 through 15.
Okay, my brother. Numbers, chapter 28, verse 11. And in the beginning of your months, you shall offer a burnt offering unto Yahweh, 2 young bullocks and 1 ram, 7 lambs of the first year without spot, and 3/10 deals of flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil for 1 bullock, and 2/10 deals of flour for a meat offering, mingled with oil for 1 ram. Verse 13, and a several 10th deal of flour mingled with oil for a meat offering unto 1 lamb, for a burnt offering of a sweet savor, a sacrifice made by fire unto Yahweh. And their drink offering shall be half a hin of wine unto a bullock, and the 3rd part of a hin unto a ram, and a 4th part of a hin unto a lamb. This is the burnt offering of every month throughout the months of the year. Verse 15, and 1 kid of goats for a sin offering unto Yahweh shall be offered beside the continual burnt offering and his drink offering.
Praise Yahweh. Let's go to the book of Psalms.
Okay.
Psalms, and we're going to read chapter 81,
okay,
verses 1 through 4, my elders.
Okay, brother. I'm in the book of Psalms, chapter 81, and verse 1. Sing aloud unto Elohim, our strength. Make a joyful noise unto the Elohim of Yaakov. Take a psalm and bring hither the timbrel, the pleasant harp with the psaltery. Blow up the trumpet in the new moon, in the time appointed, on our solemn feast day. For this was a statute for Israel and a law of the God of Yaakov. Praise Yah.
Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Yes, sir. So we see that we were commanded to keep these things. We said this was a statute for Israel.
That's right.
And a law of the Elohim of Yaakov.
Hallelujah. Praise Yah. So right, brother.
Praise
it's in the book.
Let's go, my elder, to the prophet and see if we're going to be doing these things in the future times. We want to see a shadow of things to come, for we know that the law was a shadow of things to come.
Okay.
So
okay, you're going up in the future.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir. So Yahweh is omnipotent, and,
yes,
and his word stands predominant from the as it was in the beginning, so shall it be in the end. This is what he said.
That's right.
So let's read, if we can, the prophet Ezekiel.
Okay.
Chapter 46. And we'll read verses 1 through 6.
Okay. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 46, verses 1 through 6.
And this is a shadow of things to come in the kingdom of heaven.
Okay.
When the Mashiach will reign.
Oh, praise Yah.
Yes, sir.
Verse 1. Thus says Yahweh Elohim, the gate of the inner court that looketh toward the east shall be shut the six working days, but on the Sabbath it shall be open, and in the day of the new moon it shall be open. Praise Yah, right there.
Praise Yah.
Verse 2, and the prince shall enter by the way of the porch of that gate without, and shall stand by the post of the gate. And the priest shall prepare his burnt offering and his peace offerings, and he shall worship at the threshold of the gate. Then he shall go forth, but the gate shall not be shut until the evening. Likewise, the people of the land shall worship at the door of this gate before Yahweh in the Sabbath and in the new moon. That's excellent. Praise.
Yeah.
Verse 4. The burnt offering that the prince shall offer unto Yahweh in the Sabbath day shall be 6 lambs without blemish, and a ram without blemish. And the meat offering shall be an ephah for a ram, and the meat offering for the lambs as he shall be able to give, and an hin of oil to an ephah. And the day of the new moon it shall be a young bullock without blemish, and 6 lambs and a ram, they shall be without blemish.
Praise Yah. Praise Yah. And we just want to go one more place, man.
Okay, my brother.
And that's the prophet Isaiah.
Oh, man.
Isaiah, chapter 66. And I want to read verses 19 through 24.
Man, this is incredible, brother Obadiah. The things that we do, you don't have to keep these, you don't have to keep the new moon. Well, you covered it right here.
Yes, sir. You know, some people say that we don't have to keep it unless you're in your land.
Okay.
But we see that Yahweh commanded that we keep these things throughout all our dwellings.
Praise Yah.
Yes, sir.
Now, what verses in the book of Isaiah chapter 66?
So we are at Isaiah chapter 66, verses 19 through 24.
Okay.
19 through 24.
Verse 19. And I will set a sign among them, and I'm reading that again. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal and Javan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory.
No, you started from 19. No, we're good. Okay, we're good.
Did I start from 18? I'm sorry.
No, you're fine.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let me read that over. I'm sorry. Verse 19. And I will set a sign among them, and I will send those that escape of them unto the nations, to Tarshish, Pul, and Lud, that draw the bow, to Tubal and Javan, to the isles afar off, that have not heard my fame, neither have seen my glory. And they shall declare my glory among the Gentiles. And they shall bring all your brothers for an offering unto Yahweh out of all nations, upon horses, and in chariots, and in litters, and upon mules, and upon swift beasts, to my holy mountain Jerusalem, saith Yahweh, as the children of Israel bring an offering in a clean vessel into the house of Yahweh. And I will also take of them for priests and for Levites, saith Yahweh. For as the new heavens and the new earth, this is in the future.
Yes, sir.
Which I will make, shall remain before me, says Yahweh, so shall your seed and your name remain. And it shall come to pass that from one new moon to another, and from one Sabbath to another, shall all flesh come to worship before me, saith Yahweh. Do 24.
Yes, sir.
And they shall go forth and look upon the carcasses of the men that have transgressed against me. For their worm shall not die, neither shall their fire be quenched, and they shall be an abhorring unto all flesh. That's the lake of fire, isn't it?
That's that lake of fire.
Oh, praise y'all, brother.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So once again, tonight's class is entitled Signs of the Times. So we as the children of Israel, in particular the house of Yehuda or Judah, are truly blessed to be alive in these days and times. As we reflect on history and the plight of our people, we see all that has befallen us collectively as a people was already prophesied to take place.
Amen.
In the book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 46, it states, "And they shall be upon thee." Now, when we speak about they, it says some people may ask, what is the they that we're referencing, especially if you're new to the platform.
Right.
So the they is referring to the curses that fell upon the children of Israel. And our fathers, because of our fathers being disobedient to Yahweh's commandments.
Okay.
And, so this is the they that we're referring to. So it says, Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 46. And we also encourage you to read that entire chapter if you get some time.
Oh, yeah.
Because it'll give you a foundation as to the blessings and the curses that Yahweh put upon
Yes,
us.
sir, my brother.
And why these curses fell upon us. Now, verse 46 states, "And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever." Now, according to the Holman's Illustrated Bible Dictionary, the word sign is defined as a symbol or action or occurrence that points to something beyond itself.
Wow.
Signs can be a verification of the presence and power of Yahweh Elohim at work in circumstances or in his people.
Okay.
Just as it was prophesied and foretold to come to pass, so too, in these latter days, Yahshua spoke of some things that would take place prior to his return, signs that we should watch for. So, my elder, let us go to the book of Matthew, the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, and see if we can pick it up at verse 1.
Teach, my brother. That's it.
And see what Yahshua had to say. Well, we know everybody has something to say in these days and times. And,
you know that's right. Everybody got an opinion.
Everybody has an opinion.
Yes, sir.
You know, I heard the priest used to say, everybody got an opinion. It's like a backside.
Exactly. Everybody got one. You know it. They say, "Oh, that's a good one." I like that.
But
okay.
Nonetheless,
great job.
Yeah, crazy.
It's the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 1.
Yes, sir.
Where you want me to begin?
We're gonna chapter 24, and we're gonna begin at verse 1.
Okay.
Yes, sir. We're gonna
Matthew chapter 24.
Yes, sir.
I apologize. Okay, in verse 1.
Yes, sir.
Okay, Matthew chapter 24, verse 1. "And Yahshua went out and departed from the temple, and his disciples came to him for to show him the buildings of the temple. And Yahshua said unto them, See you not all these things? Verily I say unto you, there shall not be left here one stone upon another that shall not be thrown down." And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world or age, the end of the age?
So we see they had 3 questions that they asked the Mashiach.
Okay.
There's 3 questions. They said they asked him, say, "Tell us, when shall these things be?
Okay.
And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the ages of the world?"
That's
right. 3 questions.
Yes, sir.
And in verse 2, when Yahshua was referencing the stones being thrown down, this was fulfilled in 70 AD.
Okay.
Under General Titus, when they came in and destroyed the city of Jerusalem and ransacked the city basically, and they after killing off about 90-something million, he said they gathered up the last
millions of people.
Not millions of people, and they were sold unto the Ethiopians to work into the salt mines.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, and that's the Romans did that.
Yes, sir.
So So he's prophesying something that was going to, Yahshua was saying this is going to take place.
Yes, sir.
Actually, in a short period of time.
Yes, sir. So we're dealing with near prophecy and far prophecy.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yahshua was a prophet. You know.
Yes.
And we read that this Sabbath.
You sure did.
He said, "I'm gonna raise up a prophet like unto Moshe."
Oh man.
You know.
I didn't. You know, when you're thinking, when you hear Mashiach talking, but like you said,
Yes, sir.
you don't think about that because he's the son of the Most High. He's that, but he's that prophet. You're right.
He's that.
He's prophesying.
They asked, "Are you that prophet?" That's what
true.
people say. Tell us plainly. Are you that? Are you that prophet?
Yeah, come with it. Tell us.
Yes, sir.
Wow.
Praise Him.
We'll keep reading.
Yes, sir. We'll
Okay.
add
Verse 4.
Yes, sir.
And verse 4. And Yahshua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Christ or Messiah, and shall deceive many. And you shall hear wars and rumors of wars. That's what. See, man, see that you not be troubled.
What did he say?
See that you not be troubled.
Okay.
For all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right.
Brother, you got people saying it's time to go now.
I've read this. Yeah,
I'm hearing things now. But the Mashiach is saying, oh, praise Yah. Verse 7. For nation, oh, brother, for nation shall rise against nation.
That's right.
And kingdom is kingdom.
We seeing that happen right now.
That's happening.
Yeah.
That's been happening for a while, but it's going on, right?
There's nothing new under the sun.
Right.
This was happening in the days of Yahshua.
Yes, sir. And there shall be famine. There shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in divers places.
We witnessing these things take place.
Oh man, yes, sir. You're seeing earthquakes happening where you didn't think they would happen.
And pestilence.
And we're living one right now, right?
One right now as we speak. Yes, sir.
Verse 8. All these are the beginning of sorrows. Uh-oh. See, it's going to get worse than this?
It's going to be that. I mean, what if that's the beginning of sorrow, then we can only imagine what's to come.
Man, God have mercy. Verse 9. Then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted and shall kill you, and you shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So it got to be for Yahshua's.
For Yahshua's name's sake.
Oh.
Yes, sir.
Verse 10. And then shall many be offended and shall betray one another and shall hate one another. Verse 11. And many false prophets shall rise and shall deceive many.
As it is this day.
So you got that right. And because lawlessness or iniquity shall abound, the love of many shall wax cold.
Now that's something that's prevalent on the earth now. That's a sign. That's a clear sign that we see. For the love of many has truly waxed cold. Yeah,
you're right, man. Brothers and sisters, we see that. They just turn that, they so cold on you. In this country, in your own communities, they have an indifference.
Yes, sir.
They don't care about you.
It's like you say, I remember Elder Priest, Eliyahu used to say, black people can't come together to buy a bag of chips.
Wow.
But it wasn't like that before. It wasn't always so.
No, man. I grew up when I grew up, brother, over there, I still remember that love in the community, and that sense of concern. And I saw that at my mom's funeral. People, I ain't seen them in years, but they came from mom's funeral because they was in that community. I wanted to come make sure I give my respect with Catherine.
That's right. That's right.
That was back then. That's what we grew up in.
Yeah, we came together to we came together to boycott. We came together to do all kinds of things.
Exactly. That's what people.
We can't go together now for simple things.
Got so many different things going on. It's selfish.
They say everybody's individualized.
Yes, sir.
No more community.
Yeah, brother. It's sad. But I keep reading.
Yes, sir.
You got an excellent class going. Verse 13, Matthew 24, verse 13. But he that shall endure until the end, the same shall be saved.
So when it says he that shall endure until the end, is it the end of the age, the world, or is it your end?
That's right, brother.
You know, so what end is he speaking of? He's
Right.
speaking of your end.
Your end.
You know? Yeah.
Yeah, you may not be here for that. So you got to endure
to your end.
To your
And
end.
stay faithful in the course that Yahweh's given you. You know, and walk uprightly and pray that Yahweh will give us grace, because we know that there's nothing we can do to deserve salvation.
That's
or
right.
to earn it.
That's
You
right.
know, it's still gonna. He says, by grace you are saved. It's still gonna be by Yahweh's grace, if He sees fit for us to make it into His kingdom.
Right.
You know. So yeah, this is what we're striving for.
You're right, brother. Praise God.
Praise God.
Now, verse 14. And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come.
So that has to happen.
Right.
Yeah.
This gospel.
This gospel. Yeah.
See, we're talking this gospel. We're teaching this gospel. We got different gospels out there, don't we?
It's a whole lot of different gospels. We read in here that there's going to be many. It says, for many shall come in my name, saying, I'm the Mashiach, and shall deceive many. You know. Right. And so, you know, it's a lot of different gospels. But the gospel of the Mashiach and the gospel of the doctrine of the apostles, that's what's not being, I mean, as of late, Yahweh's waking up His people.
Yes, praise God.
You know, we understand that these things, but has this gospel been preached all around the world?
No. I think it's coming out.
It is coming.
But they haven't, because they don't even recognize us, who we are. That's okay. Continue.
Yes, sir.
Now we're in verse 15. Let me read 14 again.
Yes, sir.
And this gospel of the kingdom shall be preached in all the world for a witness unto all nations, and then shall the end come. Verse 15. When you therefore shall see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel the prophet stand in the holy place, whoso readeth, let him understand.
So why did the Mashiach say this? You know,
okay.
So this has to factor in with some of the things that we're supposed to be watching for as well.
Right.
Before the Mashiach return.
Yeah.
Now we understand the signaling of we understand that Judah is awaiting the departure, you know,
okay,
and looking to be saved and delivered out of this land.
That's right.
You know, but everything is in Yahweh's time.
Okay.
You know, Yahweh's in control of all these things. So we can't force our will upon Yahweh and say, well, Yahweh, do it. If we want Yahweh to do it the way we want it to be done.
Right.
That's no man has that power over Yahweh.
None.
You know. And so this is why no man knows the day or the hour.
So, you know, so when I ask you a question, so when I was in a Christian, and I read over that, but I didn't. So I would see Daniel the prophet, but I didn't understand when I read this, you know, and I'm still learning. But you said this is interrelated. He references,
and we're gonna read. We're gonna go into we're gonna go to the book of Daniel after this.
Hallelujah.
Praise God.
Verse 16. It says, then let them which be in Judea flee into the mountains. Let him which is on the housetop not come down to take anything out of his house.
So this is a time of urgency.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So is that what we're in right now?
I don't feel that urgency right now. But
it's also written that we're not going to leave in haste.
And we're not going to leave in haste. Yeah. So there's got to be...
this is why it's important to see what the Mashiach had to say. He gave comfort to his servants. He said in verse 6.
Go back. Okay, verse 6?
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead. Read.
He said, I was just going to read the latter part. He said, for all these things must come to pass, but the end is not yet.
Right.
But then even prior to that, he said, see that you be not troubled.
Man, brother, that's important. Because you're saying the Mashiach, he's comforting us. Even right now.
Even right when we were when the disciples were on the ship.
Right.
And the waves started getting very tempest.
Right.
They panicked. And they said, Master, he was asleep.
Right.
He's in the bottom of the ship sleep.
We're gonna die.
We're gonna die. Master, help us. Don't you know who's on the ship with you? You know, he simply asked, he rebuked the wind.
Right.
He rebuked the sea, but he said, where's your faith?
Where's your faith? That's right.
He told them of things to come. He told them of things he prophesied of things that were going to come. So these did you not believe me? This one is, where's your faith?
Where's your faith?
They're gonna the Mashiach was on the ship with them,
right?
And the spirit that dwelt within him was he who created all things. And so how would he die?
It's not gonna. No, it's not gonna happen.
It's not gonna happen.
Okay. And let me see here. We read verse 17.
Yes, sir.
In verse 18 now, neither let him which is in the field return back to take his clothes. And woe unto them that are with child, and to them that give suck in those days. But pray ye that your flight be not in the winter, neither on the Sabbath day. So what does that mean? What do you think about that Sabbath day?
I mean, we know that the Sabbath day is a holy day.
Oh, man.
And so he said, pray that your flight be not on the Sabbath, because we know we're supposed to keep this day holy. We're supposed to be sanctified and be set aside in that day, reading out of Yahweh's law.
And you got billions of people who don't keep the Sabbath.
That's right.
Okay. Verse 21. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be.
Now you gotta wonder what could that be?
Yeah.
I mean, we've read about World War One.
That's right.
I mean, I know you've been around longer to see some of this stuff.
Right.
And I know but
yeah,
World War One. I studied the history of that and the atrocities that took place, and the deaths, and the World War II. All of the carnage, the bombing of Hiroshima, and all kind of But he says none of that stuff can compare to what's to come.
Wow. So that's not something we're looking forward to.
No.
To be a part of. For me, that's what I think.
This is a fearful thing.
Exactly.
But it's an exciting time, like what we were saying in the beginning.
Okay.
But it's a fearful time.
Yes, sir.
But it's a solemn time.
You're right, my brother. Now, verse 22. He said, I'm going to read 21 again. It's so powerful. For then shall be great tribulation, such as was not since the beginning of the world to this time, no, nor ever shall be. And except those days should be shortened, there should be no flesh be saved. But for the elect's sake, those days shall be shortened. Verse 23. Then if any man shall say unto you, lo, here is Christ, or there, believe it not. For there shall arise false Christs and false prophets, and shall show great signs and wonders, insomuch that, if it were possible, they shall deceive the very elect. Behold, I have told you before. Verse 26. Wherefore, if they shall say unto you, behold, he is in the desert, go not forth. Behold, he is in the secret chamber. Believe it not. 27. For as the lightning cometh out of the east, and shineth even unto the west, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So all nations will be able to see this. This is going to be Yahshua's grave. Excuse me, his return.
Man, what a wonderful day that'll be.
Yes, sir.
I pray I'll be bought. You talking about something there, Brother D. Verse 28. For wheresoever the carcass is, there will the eagles be gathered together. 29. Immediately after the tribulation of those days shall the sun be darkened, and the moon shall not give her light, and the stars shall fall from heaven, and the powers of the heavens shall be shaken. And then shall appear the sign of the Son of Man in heaven. And then shall all the tribes of the earth mourn, and they shall see the Son of Man, praise Yah, coming in the clouds of heaven with power and great glory. Verse 31. And he shall send his angels with a great sound of a trumpet, and they shall gather together his elect from the four winds, from one end of heaven to the other. Verse 32. Now learn a parable. So he's still talking to his disciples.
He's still talking. He's still giving his discourse.
Okay, I want to make sure.
I mean, we've covered a lot within this discourse.
Okay.
He's spoken about the Great Tribulation, and he's spoken about the return of when he's going to return. But you have to refer back to the three questions that his disciples asked him. He asked them three important questions.
Praise God.
So he's answering these questions in the midst of all of this. And some of these are near prophecy, and some of them are far prophecy. But it's all the perspective.
But I'm glad you pointed. I'm good.
Yes,
glad you pointed that out. Those three questions. That's critical. I like how you broke that down.
It's very important. Yes, sir.
Now, verse 32. Now learn a parable of the fig tree. When his branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is close. So likewise, ye, when you shall see all these things, know that it is near, even at the doors.
Very critical. All of these things.
Okay.
You have to see all of these. We can't have. It's like you're baking a cake. You can't.
Okay.
You're not gonna get the cake.
All those ingredients.
Unless you mix all the ingredients and you follow the instructions.
And you follow the instructions.
You gotta follow the instructions.
Okay.
It says 15 minutes. 15 minutes.
15 minutes.
If you put it 30, you don't have an issue.
It's messed up.
Yeah.
It's not a cake.
It's not a cake.
It's not a cake.
Yeah, this is an experiment.
Praise God, brother.
Yes, sir.
In verse 34. Verily, I say unto you, this generation shall not pass till all these things be fulfilled. And he's talking about the future, right?
That's right.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Heaven and earth shall pass away, but my words shall not pass away. But of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only.
Now that's very key.
Okay.
That's very key. He says, of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of it. The angels don't even know.
Right. Right.
The angels are messengers, so they'll come and they minister unto you.
Right.
They don't know.
They don't know.
So no man. Now we can speculate.
Right. There you go. You're speculating. Right?
You can speculate.
Right.
But that's as far as that. That's just speculation.
And many of these, you tell me, many religions, Christian religions, other denominations have tried to do various things.
That's
like
right.
what you're talking about. But how could they? But how could they do that when Yeshua says now nobody knows?
No one knows. So it's reserved to your opinion. If you decide you want to speculate. But what he said is that all these things is like we just said. All the ingredients have to be there.
Okay.
And then we have to follow the instructions. So it's some key elements that we're looking for, and we know that the 400 years was declared.
Okay.
Right. 2019.
Right. 2019.
So we see that, but he says, "You shall be in a strange land for 400 years, and afterward." Now, when he said, "Afterward, you shall come out with a great substance."
Right. But isn't that interesting? Right after that 400 years, we've talked about this before. Right after that 400 years,
correct,
had all these different events, a lot of turmoil in the black community in America, a lot of murders, a lot of martyrs, just murders of people. I won't say martyrs, but they're Yahweh's people, right?
That's right. That's right.
And then right after that, in 2020, we get this worldwide pandemic,
pestilence spreading.
Wow.
Yahweh's hand all in it.
You have to. What did we say?
You have to sanctify.
You have to sanctify. All things. You can't just start saying what's like what you're saying. You said it. It's like not how you want it to go.
Right.
It's not that's not your power.
No.
It's how Yahweh is going to do the thing how you want to do it.
That's right. That way he'll get the glory.
Praise
If I say, well, it's gonna go like this, the people gonna say, well, see, you said it.
You sure did call it, man.
You called it. No, Yahweh. He said, the Mashiach said, no man knows, man.
You don't want to be in that position.
No. That's like a man sitting in the seat.
Yeah, you calling something. Yeah, right. Yeah. Why you sat here in the seat of honor?
This was reserved for someone else.
Oh, now you got to get up and walk back to the back.
Now you're embarrassed.
Oh,
Embarrassed.
See that? But that's deep, my brother.
Yeah.
But let me continue reading for you here. verse we just read, the angels don't know, only Yahweh knows. No man knows.
That's
so
right.
verse 37, but as the days of Noah were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man be.
So it sounds familiar now.
Okay.
This is what we're living in. We're living in the days. These are the days of Noah. But Noah was a preacher of righteousness.
Okay, that's correct.
He brought in the flood upon the ungodly.
Oh wow!
You know, but he warned them.
Right.
And he was a watchman at that time.
Right.
He said Ezekiel speaks about if the watchman didn't warn the people, then the blood would fall upon him.
Right.
So he did his job.
Right.
He was preaching and warning the people, and so it's no different as Yahweh allows us to teach and to declare this great gospel, the gospel of the Mashiach, you know, and to be able to reach out to the lost sheep of the house of Israel to let them know that the time is near. You know, we're not spreading fear, or we're just trying to alert them that the times that we're living in is very crucial, and the Mashiach warned us to watch for the signs. Right. And we just read in verse 32. Right. The Mashiach always spoke in parables. He said, learn a parable of the fig tree. Right. When its branch is yet tender and putteth forth leaves, you know that summer is nigh. That's a sign.
That's right.
You know, right now we're going to see the trees beginning to start blossoming.
That's right. We're coming into spring now. Right.
It's coming into it. It shows that's the new year.
That's right.
Everything is becoming new. Right.
That's right. Right.
Praise God. You know.
Praise God.
So when we begin to see these signs, he said, yeah, it's near. It's even at the door. But it has to, but he said, when you see all these things.
All of them. Yeah. Okay. Verse 38 from the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 38. For as in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking, marrying and giving in marriage, unto the day that Noah entered into the ark, and knew not until the flood came, and took them all away. So shall also the coming of the Son of Man be. Then shall two be in the field, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Two women shall be grinding at the mill, the one shall be taken, and the other left. Watch, therefore, for you know not what hour your Adonai doth come. Now, I guess you look at 40, 41, I mean, what I guess people think they think that's something else, don't they?
Yeah, they kind of misunderstand it there, you know. But it's basically, we're going to be in a time just like we're working now.
Right.
And if two are standing, one might just be taken.
Right.
You know.
And the other day.
And the other day.
Oh, you see, we're thinking when I was in Christianity and reading that mindset, oh, that's the rapture, see? You're going to be raptured away. But I don't, you know, but see, that's...
We've heard many raptures predicted. Yeah.
That's right.
You know, and
that's
right. None of them have come to pass.
That goes back to what you were just saying.
Right.
You know, that there's going to be a lot of people they may not say they're the Christ, but they're men.
Correct.
Speculating.
Correct.
Trying to make themselves out to be
some great ones.
Some great ones.
Yes, sir.
Okay, well, praise God for this. In verse 42, we'll read it again. Watch therefore, for you know not what hour your master doth come. But know this, that is the good man of the house had known in what watch the thief would come, he would have watched and would not have suffered his house to be broken up.
Correct.
Therefore, be you also ready, for in such an hour as you think not, the Son of Man cometh. Wow, that's deep right there. Who then, verse 45, who then is a faithful and wise servant? That's what we are, right?
That's what we strive to do. Yes, sir.
Whom his master have made ruler over his household, to give them meat in due season.
Prepare them before the time.
Right.
Yes, sir.
Meat. So you're saying this meat also, what we're reading,
it's spiritual. It's spiritual. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It's spiritual. We're being fed as we speak. Okay. It's like the Mashiach told his disciples, I have meat that you know not of. You know, and that's it's spiritual food. I got a spiritual food to eat that you don't. That's what he's talking about.
You're going to think about this at this time. You're going to think about that.
Yes,
I tell you. That's praise y'all for that. And it says 46, verse 46. Blessed is that servant whom his master, when he cometh, shall find so doing. Verily I say unto you, that he shall make him ruler over all his goods. And if that evil servant shall say in his heart, my master delayeth his coming, and shall begin to smite, mistreat,
That's right.
smite his fellow servants, and to eat and drink with the drunken, the Adonai of that servant, or the master of that servant, shall come in a day when he looketh not for him, and in an hour that he is not aware of, and shall cut him asunder, and appoint him to his portion with the hypocrites. There shall be weeping and gnashing of teeth.
Yes, this is nothing to play with. This is not going to be a joyful day. This is going to be a dreadful day. The Matthew chapter 24. Yeah, in Matthew chapter 24, the disciples asked Yeshua 3 important questions. What would be the sign of his coming? Also, the end of the ages. Now, let's go to the prophet Daniel and see what the prophet Daniel has to say about these things. Right? Oh, wow. We're going to go to Daniel chapter 7, my elder. And we're going to read the whole chapter. We're going to pick up at verse 1.
You don't pull the big things out here.
Big guns.
The big guns. But brother, what you cover is so important. You got to watch how you treat people.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
And watch that backslide. See, we can be in the truth.
That's right.
But that backslide apply to us, right?
That's right.
He said you start drinking and kicking with the
drunkards.
With the drunkards.
That's right.
And next thing you caught off guard.
That's right.
Wow.
It's easy.
It's easy. You're right. You're right.
It's like if you take your armor off.
Oh.
That
full armor.
You got to keep on your full suit of armor. Now you go to war. You take off we're at war. This is a spirit. We're at spiritual war right now. It's chemical warfare being fought. It's cyber warfare. It's technological warfare. Chemical warfare. Biological warfare.
Yes, sir.
And then you got spiritual warfare, which is the highest of all. He said, wow. So we can't afford to take off our armor.
And you're right. And those things are taking places at high spiritual level.
That's right.
In
high places.
High places.
Exceedingly high places.
Exceedingly high places. We don't even know what's going on.
That's right.
But it's very profound. I praise y'all for giving this spirit to do this class. Now, I'm in the book of Daniel chapter 7. Where you want me to start?
We're going to pick it up at verse 1.
Okay.
Yeah, we're going to see the dream that Daniel received.
Okay, brother.
And we'll see, because we referenced that in Matthew.
Right. That's what, I was saying, what does that mean?
So let's see, it's a little more to it, but let's see the dream that Daniel had.
Okay, brother.
And, yeah.
We'll do.
Yes,
I'm in the book of Daniel chapter 7, verse 1. In the first year of Belshazzar, king of Babylon, Daniel had a dream and visions of his head upon his bed. Then he wrote the dream and told the sum of the matters. Daniel spake and said, I saw in my vision by night, and beheld the 4 winds of the heaven strove upon the great sea. And 4 great beasts came up from the sea, divers one from another. Verse 4, the first was like a lion and had eagle's wings. I beheld till the wings thereof were plucked, and it was lifted up from the earth, and made stand upon the feet as a man, and a man's heart was given to it.
So we know this was King Nebuchadnezzar.
Okay.
This was the first. This was the Arabs. This was the first world empire.
Okay.
That Yahweh is bringing upon the earth.
This is Babylonian empire.
Babylonian.
Oh,
empire.
praise. Okay.
Now there were other empires, but Yahweh recognized this empire, and it was specific reasons because of the fact that the nations who held upon the children of Israel.
Brother, you here?
The house of Judah.
Brother, I'm so glad you brought that. Because right there, you had the Chinese had
of course
a major empire, the Mongol Empire.
That's right.
But y'all dynasties.
Yes.
So powerful.
The Egyptians had an
And
empire.
the Egyptians, right?
We had many empires that ruled, and so people would say, "Well, does that discredit?" No, it's not. We're not saying that there weren't other empires, but they didn't have the children of Israel in their possession.
Right.
So Yahweh didn't recognize them, at least in this dream.
In this dream.
Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Verse 5. And behold, another beast, a second, like to a bear, and it raised up itself on one side, and it had 3 ribs in the mouth of it, between the teeth of it. And they said thus unto it, Arise, devour much flesh.
So this was the Medo-Persian Empire. This was Media and Persia, or Russia and Iran, using the modern day terms.
Okay, brother.
Those are ancient names, ancient kingdoms.
Now, what book is like this, brother?
Right.
Come on.
It tells the past, the present, and the future.
Oh, man, you're so right.
Bestseller every year.
Bestseller every year. Verse 6. And again, I'm in the book of Daniel, chapter 7, verse 6. After this, I beheld, and lo, another, like a leopard, which had upon the back of it 4 wings of a fowl. The beast had also 4 heads, and dominion was given to it.
So we know this was Alexander the Great and the Greek Empire. He had the symbol of a leopard. He conquered the world in the fastest or the shortest period of time. And so this was the third beast.
So he's showing you these empires.
Yes.
He's seeing all these empires
all of
in
these
his dream.
In his dream. And as we keep reading, we're going to see the significance of these kingdoms.
All right, praise Yah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, verse 7. After this, I saw in the night visions, and behold, a 4th beast, dreadful and terrible and strong exceedingly. And it had great iron teeth. It devoured and brake in pieces and stamped the residue with the feet of it. And it was diverse from all the beasts that were before it. And it had 10 horns.
So we know this was the Roman Empire.
Okay.
Right? This was the Roman Empire. And this beast was dreadful and terrible.
Oh, yeah, the Roman Empire was something else.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
And so we're still living in the fragmented Roman Empire.
Okay.
In these times.
Isn't that something?
Yes, sir.
We see these things all through this country, all through Europe.
That's right.
They let you know.
That's right.
The Roman Empire was fragmented.
That's right.
Wow.
We see the Senate. And we see
the Senate.
The way the whole everything is set up.
Exactly.
It still carries the same character as from ancient days.
Yes, sir.
Nothing new.
You got that, Brother Obadiah. All right, I'll go to verse 8. I considered the horns, and behold, there came up among them another little horn, before whom there were 3 of the first horns plucked up by the roots. And behold, in this horn were eyes like the eyes of man, and a mouth speaking great things.
So we know that this was the papacy or the popes.
Okay.
And we understand that the 3 of the first horns that were plucked up, this was representing the Visigoths,
okay,
the Heroes, and the Vandals.
Right.
Right. So we know that these were tied, and this can be studied in Roman history. We could look up secular history to confirm this.
Confirm those things.
Yeah.
Right. Praise Yah, man.
Praise Yah, man.
Verse 9. I beheld to the... Oh, okay. This is something else here. Verse 9. I beheld till the thrones were cast down, and the Ancient of Days did sit, whose garment was white as snow, and the hair of his head like the pure wool. His throne was like the fiery flame, and his wheels as burning fire.
Praise Yah. The Ancient of Days.
The Ancient of Days. Okay, this is interesting.
Israel.
Okay, it's Israel.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Verse 10. A fiery stream issued and came forth from before him. Thousands ministered unto him, and 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him. The judgment was set, and the books were opened.
The judgment was set.
Okay.
and the books were open. So we understand there's books in heaven, you know. So we see the importance and why we need to be studying, you know,
right,
and reading out. This is what Yahweh left a book for us to read, but there's books in heaven.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And when you read this, you're showing that glory, and this is a mystery. Yahweh that in that vision, he's having that vision, right?
That's right.
It's in that vision. You're seeing this vision. He's showing you the glory of thousands and thousands ministered to him.
That's right.
10,000 times 10,000.
This is a very detailed dream.
Very detailed.
Very detailed dream.
Wow.
Yes, sir.
But you know, but Daniel's is a unique brother.
That's right. That's right.
But that's for another time.
But yeah, we're gonna go over that.
Oh, okay. Praise God. Okay.
We know we're gonna. This is just gonna be a part one.
Oh, okay. Praise God, man.
I see time running.
Praise God. Hey, let me get it moving here. Let me keep reading for you. Verse 11. I beheld then, because of the voice of the great words which the horn spake. I beheld even to the beast was slain, and his body destroyed, and given to the burning flame. As concerning the rest of the beasts, they had their dominion taken away. Yet their lives were prolonged for a season and time.
So this is a year.
Okay.
And a season.
Okay.
Right?
That's right.
So,
a season and a time.
Yes, sir.
Okay. Verse 13. I saw in the night visions, and behold, one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heaven, and came to the Ancient of Days. This is deep right here.
Yes, sir.
And they brought him near before him, and there was given him dominion and glory and a kingdom, that all people, nations, and languages should serve him. His dominion is an everlasting dominion, which shall not pass away, and his kingdom that which shall not be destroyed.
So we see that he said in the night visions he saw one like the Son of Man came with the clouds of heavens. So we know this is Yahshua.
That's Yahshua. Yeah. Praise God.
This is our Adonai. And so he was brought before the Ancient of Days.
Exactly.
So he was brought to Israel.
Right.
And so he took the books. Right?
Oh, that's
he
right.
He took the books, and we understand that. Now, we were just reading about the coming of the Son of Man.
Correct.
You know, and all of this it correlates. We understand that we have to be delivered, and that after Judah is delivered, we will be taken into the wilderness, right?
Right.
And we understand that there's a whole wilderness experience. And after us being brought out of the wilderness and going back to take the land of Israel, that this is when the Mashiach will return.
Right.
Right? And so we're reading the things that's going to precede the Mashiach returning.
Right.
And there were kingdoms that were on the earth, just like we have kingdoms rising up against kingdoms now, and nation against nation, ruler against ruler. These things were all given us for signs, but the signs were to show us the deliverance of the children of Israel here out of the daughter of Babylon in the Americas.
Right.
And we understand that Judah scattered to the four corners of the earth. So there's a great awakening that's coming. And prior to the time of the Great Tribulation, these things have to come to pass. So we're just reading and seeing the things that have taken place thus far, and to see what is left, to see the time span that we're in.
Definitely, brother. Yeah. Thank you, brother teacher, man.
Praise
God for this.
Praise God.
Okay, I think in verse 15.
Yes, sir.
I, Daniel, was grieved in my spirit in the midst of my body, and the visions of my head troubled me. I came near unto one of them that stood by, and asked him the truth of all this. So he told me, and made me know the interpretation of the things. This is what you were telling me if you read the cover.
Yes,
okay,
sir.
Praise God. Verse 17. These great beasts, which are four kings, which shall arise out of the earth. But the saints of the Most High shall take the kingdom and possess the kingdom forever, even forever and ever. Verse 19. Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron, and his nails of brass, which devoured, brake in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before whom 3 fell, even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things, whose look was more stout than his fellows. I beheld, and the same horn made war with the saints, and prevailed against them.
We know this is representative of the Pope, the Vatican, and the papacy.
Okay.
Yeah. Yes, sir.
Verse 22, until the Ancient of Days came, and judgment was given to the saints of the Most High. And the time came that the saints possessed the kingdom. Verse 23, thus he said, the 4th beast shall be the 4th kingdom upon the earth, which shall be diverse from all kingdoms, and shall devour the whole earth, and shall tread it down and break it in pieces. This is where we are right now.
That's right. That's right.
This 4th kingdom.
So we understand that Daniel, there was the 3 kingdoms that came up prior to that. Daniel didn't ask much about that. But in verse 19, he says, then I would know the truth of the 4th beast, which was diverse from all the others. This beast was different from all the others.
The structure is exactly.
You know, so these are the times that we're living in now. We're witnessing these things happening. So, you know, we're just trying to get a perspective of the time.
Okay.
Just, yes.
In verse 24, let me make sure I get it right. Verse 24, right?
Yes, sir.
And the 10 horns out of this kingdom are 10 kings that shall arise, and another shall arise after them, and he shall be diverse from the first, and he shall subdue 3 kings, and he shall speak great words against the Most High, and shall wear out the saints of the Most High, and think to change times and laws, and they shall be given into his hand until a time and times and the dividing of times.
3.5 years.
Okay. Verse 26. But the judgment shall sit, and they shall take away his dominion to consume and to destroy it unto the end. And the kingdom and dominion and the greatness of the kingdom under the whole heaven shall be given to the people of the saints of the Most High, whose kingdom is an everlasting kingdom, and all dominions shall serve and obey him. So this is what kingdom? This is Yahshua's kingdom?
This is Yahshua's kingdom. This is going to be the finale. You know.
Okay, the finale.
The saints are going to take the kingdom and possess it forever, even forever and ever.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Verse 28. Hitherto is the end of the matter. As for me, Daniel, my cogitations much troubled me, and my countenance changed in me. But I kept the matter in my heart.
Praise God. Praise God. Now, when we were in the book of the Gospel of Matthew, chapter 24, verse 36 stated, but of that day and hour knoweth no man, no, not the angels of heaven, but my Father only. So, again, as we stated, no man can predict the day or hour. Man can only speculate. So, let us go to the prophet Jeremiah, or Yirmiyahu, and let's read chapter 51.
Okay, bro.
Let's see what he has to say.
Man, you've been into this. Some powerful chapters. Praise y'all, man.
Praise y'all, man.
Okay. Book of Jeremiah, chapter 51.
Yes, sir. We're going to read verses 1, and I'll tell you.
Okay.
Yeah. We're gonna try to cover as much as we can at the time.
Okay.
Yeah.
Praise y'all, man.
Praise y'all.
It's a good class. Chapter 51 of Jeremiah, verse 1. Thus says Yahweh, behold, I will raise up against Babylon and against them that dwell in the midst of them that rise up against me a destroying wind, and will send unto Babylon fanners that shall fan her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about.
So now we know that word fanners, you know, if we look it up in the concordance,
okay,
it's, look it up here.
And brother, what you were saying a couple Sabbaths ago, you got to read. No, you said that.
Yes,
Reading is one thing, but you got to study.
We got to study.
And so this is what we're doing. In order to study, you got to go into that concordance and find out what these words mean.
That's what we was telling the people to look up some of these words. We had mentioned that the Sabbath before.
Sure did.
We told them to look up some of these words. So fanners, he says, 21:14.
That's a blessing because that word can throw you off.
It could throw you off.
You think it's something, it's just put it in there, some filler. Nothing is filler.
A lot of people,
line upon line,
they'll say that it's like a hurricane,
right,
or a tornado, or
like fanners,
right. And I mean that makes sense to an extent.
Okay,
we understand.
And that's what I thought before I looked it up.
Me too.
Yeah,
me too. But in the concordance, it says fanners, to be a foreign or strange, profane act. Fanner, to go away, a strange thing. So he's going to send a strange act to drive the people away. A strange act to go away. Or to make the people go away.
Something's going on.
Something strange.
Never seen it before, possibly.
Right?
Right.
So now, so in verse, he says, I will send unto Babylon, or it says, fanners that shall fan her or disperse her, and shall empty her land. For in the day of trouble they shall be against her round about. So these are the times that we're in. Right?
Yes,
so we're looking, so we're waiting on our deliverance. Right?
Right.
We know that it's prophesied that we're going to leave. He said, by ships you departed, by ships shall you leave. The same way you came here is the same way you're going to leave. Right? But he also said we're not going to leave in haste.
Right.
So these are the times that we're in right now. Right. So it's very important that we understand what's written. So let's pick it up at verse 3.
Okay. Verse 3. Against him that bendeth, let the archer bend his bow, and against him that lifteth himself up in his brigading, and spare you not her young men. Destroy ye utterly all her hosts. That's the army, right?
That's right.
Verse 4. Thus the slain shall fall in the land of the Chaldeans, and they that are thrust through in her streets.
We're going to go back. We're going to come back probably, and when we deal with the book of Daniel, we're going to also go in and cover some of these names.
Okay.
Called the
Chaldeans.
Because the Chaldeans, there's a lot with that. We know that we'll hear it referenced also as Aryans.
Right.
But when you look up in the concordance, it shows that Chaldea was southern Babylon.
Right.
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 And the Chaldeans, we know they were known to be soothsayers and to be basically magicians and astrologers.
Okay.
They were off into that, but the nation that they inhabited southern Babylon. Okay. But we're gonna deal more with this.
You have to have a lot of time to expand that.
Yes, sir.
Okay. I go to verse 5.
Yes, sir.
For Israel have not been forsaken, hallelujah,
praise Yah,
nor Judah of his Elohim, of Yahweh of hosts, though their land was filled with sin against the Holy One of Israel. Verse 6. Flee out of the midst of Babylon and deliver every man his soul. Be not cut off in her iniquity. And we know that iniquity means lawlessness.
That's right. That's right.
For this, again, read that word. But they say you don't got to keep law.
Right.
But this is talking about lawlessness.
That's right.
For this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance.
See.
He will render unto her a recompense. Babylon hath been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand.
And now this is what's written in the book. It says Babylon.
Right.
When we look up the word Babylon in the concordance, it references the word confusion. Right?
Right.
And so now we understand that Babylon is confusion.
Right.
So we're going to compare ancient Babylon. We know that the land of Babylon was Mesopotamia, and it was in Iraq, or what they call modern day Iraq.
That's right.
And it had waters that surrounded it, but it was rivers.
It's just rivers. You're
the Euphrates and the Tigris. So,
right.
So we're reading the word Babylon, but we're going to see what is he referencing ancient Babylon. We want to see, because we know what the people are reading. This is what they're seeing.
Right.
But we want to make sure we understand what we're reading.
Okay.
perspective.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
I'm going to start that again. In verse 7. Babylon has been a golden cup in Yahweh's hand that made all the earth drunken. The nations have drunken of her wine. Therefore the nations are mad. Verse 8. Babylon is suddenly fallen and destroyed. Howl for her, take balm for her pain. If so be, she may be healed.
Now we know ancient Babylon didn't fall in that manner.
No, it did not.
And we're going to cover that when we deal in when we go back over the book of Daniel.
Okay.
You know, at a later date. But yeah, this is not how Babylon fell. So this is referencing. It's a little more to it than what we're reading.
Verse 9. We would have healed Babylon, but she is not healed. Forsake her, and let us go every one into his own country. For her judgment reaches unto heaven and is lifted up even to the sky. So we got to have a country, right? We got to have a country to go to.
Got to have a country.
Okay.
Yes,
okay. Verse 10. Yahweh hath brought forth our righteousness. Come, and let us declare in Zion the work of Yahweh, our God, our Elohim.
That's right.
Verse 11. Make bright the arrows, gather the shields. Yahweh hath raised up the spirit of the kings of the Medes.
Now, Medes refers to the Russians.
Exactly.
Right? Okay.
For his device is against Babylon.
So what is Babylon? See, you know, where are we? Where is this landmass that we're speaking of now?
Okay.
Is it a figment of our imagination? Where is this place?
Okay.
That we're reading.
To this. Okay. So for his device is against Babylon. It's not that Iraq. You said it's not the ancient Babylon.
It's not ancient, and we're going to prove that here. We're going to keep reading and prove it.
For his device is against Babylon to destroy it, because it is the vengeance of Yahweh, the vengeance of his temple. Set up the standard upon the walls of Babylon, make the watch strong, set up the watchmen, prepare the ambushes. For Yahweh have both devised and done that which he spake against the inhabitants of Babylon. Verse 13. O thou that dwellest upon many waters.
So hold up now. You know, we just were discussing that. So, you know, Babylon was bordered by the Tigris and the Euphrates River.
That's right.
But now, this land here, he says, O thou that dwellest upon many waters.
Okay.
So, you know, what land borders or sits upon many waters here in these days and times? You know.
Well, let you say it.
So
keep reading. It's deep.
Okay.
O thou that dwellest upon many waters, abundant in treasures, thine end is come, and the measure of thy covetousness. Verse 14. Yahweh of hosts hath sworn by himself, said, surely I will fill thee with men, as with caterpillars, and they shall lift up a shout against thee. He hath made the earth by his power. He hath established the world by his wisdom, and hath stretched out the heaven by his understanding. Verse 16. When he uttereth his voice, there is a multitude of waters in the heavens, and he causes the vapors to ascend from the ends of the earth. He maketh lightnings with rain, and bringeth forth the wind of his treasures. Verse 17. Every man is brutish by his knowledge. Every founder is confounded by the graven image, for his molten image is falsehood. And there is no breath in them, because Yahweh is living.
That's right.
The living Elohim.
The living Elohim.
Verse 18. They are vanity, the work of errors. In the time of their visitation, they shall perish. 19. The portion of Jacob is not like them. Hallelujah.
Praise Yahweh.
Yahweh is our portion, right?
That's right.
For he is the former of all things, and Israel is the rod of his inheritance. Yahweh of hosts is his name. This is again, we're in the book of Jeremiah, and then verse 20. I'm in the book of Jeremiah, chapter 51, verse 20.
Praise
Thou art my battle axe and weapons of war.
He's speaking to Judah now.
He's speaking of Judah.
That's right.
For with thee will I break in pieces the nations, and with thee will I destroy kingdoms, and with thee will I break in pieces the horse and his rider, and with thee shall I break in pieces the chariot and his rider. Verse 22, with thee also will I break in pieces man and woman, and with thee will I break in pieces old and young, and with thee will I break in pieces the young man and the maid. I will also break in pieces with thee the shepherd and his flock, and with thee will I break in pieces the husbandman and his yoke of oxen, and with thee will I break in pieces captains and rulers. Verse 24, and I will render unto Babylon and to all the inhabitants of Chaldea all their evil that they have done in Zion in your sight, says Yahweh.
Now we got dual prophecy going on here.
Okay.
Let's keep. Now, verse 12 proves and confirms that this is a far prophecy.
Right.
We know geographically that the ancient land of Babylon did not sit upon many waters. Just like it was bordered by the Tigris and the Euphrates.
Right.
Babylon also, in the Strong's Concordance, like we said, it means confusion. So here we are today, living in the land of confusion. This daughter of Babylon, or America, sits upon the Pacific, the Atlantic, the Gulf, as well as the Bering Strait. So many waters.
Many waters.
Many waters. So this is the land of confusion here in the daughter of Babylon. And we also know that they are mad upon their idols.
Wow.
They had a Netflix series that you had told me about.
Yes.
I checked it out. American Gods.
American Gods.
Right? It was very interesting, too, because it showed the origin of the peoples who conquered this land and also those who colonized it and the plethora of gods that they brought over here with them.
Exactly.
Right?
Exactly,
and so this we're reading here in the book.
And they just teach it, and they just came out and told you.
Right. Oh, yeah.
So you worship with
But Yahweh gave them over to this.
He gave them over to it.
So, it's not, but it's we know Yahweh gave the nations over to worship the host of heavens. But he also said, it's also written, if I had went unto the nations, they would have heard me.
Whoa.
See?
That's right.
So we can't sidestep that.
Right.
We have to. That's a footnote because many of the children of Israel will be cast out, and the nations will be in the land.
Exactly.
Jews will be saved. Israel will be saved.
Hallelujah.
As it is written.
Right.
But the mystery was how, and also that's where our fathers were misunderstanding about the nation. The mystery was how he was going to save the nation.
Exactly.
And so, this is marvelous in our sight.
Definitely, brother. I'm enjoying this class, man.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Yahweh does what he pleases.
Praise Yah.
Yes, sir.
We're in the book of Jeremiah still?
Yes, sir.
Okay, chapter 51.
Yeah, chapter 51.
Verse 25.
Yes, sir.
Okay, verse 25. Behold, I am against thee, O destroying mountain, says Yahweh, which destroys all the earth, and I will stretch out my hand upon thee, and roll thee down from the rocks, and will make thee a burnt mountain. And they shall not take of thee a stone for a corner, nor a stone for foundations. But thou shalt be desolate forever, saith Yahweh. Set up a standard in the land, blow the trumpet among the nations, prepare the nations against her, call together against her the kingdoms of Ararat, Mini, Ashkenaz, appoint a captain against her.
So Ararat is southern Russia.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Okay, that's right.
And we got Mini.
Yeah.
And then we got Iran. And then we got Ashkenaz. So we see all these names are prevalent. We keep seeing Russia.
Right.
Russia. So we know that Yahweh said he's going to raise up the Medes in his time.
Right.
This is Yahweh's doing.
Right.
This is how Yahweh created the nations. So we ain't got no dog in it in this. We're just reading what Yahweh decreed.
Exactly.
And he decreed that he's going to raise up the Russians. And there's going to be a host of nations that come with them. Now, we see the Russians are provoked at this time, and rightfully so. But nonetheless, what have they done to provoke?
Right.
So we understand that this is...
They got both hands dirty.
Everyone's hands are dirty. They're clean politicians. We don't trust politicians.
Right.
We're not into...
No, that's not our business.
That's not our business.
Right.
And we have a king. Yahshua's our king.
Exactly.
You know, and so Yahshua's going to put down all rule. It's written that the saints are going to take the kingdom and possess it forever.
Exactly. You just read that.
You know, so
he's going to do.
You know, all of these nations are going to be put under Yahweh's foot.
Exactly.
And every knee is going to have to bow and confess unto Yahshua, the King. So we see currently, it's a lot of fear mongering going on, and we know that the nations are rising up right now. We see Russia's in a very precarious situation. They decided to go in. We know that this is when you study the history, like you say, Mike. Right. These disputes and civil disputes. This is a civil war, from my perspective. That these people have been fighting for a long time.
Exactly. You got to go long before past 1921.
Correct.
Lenin and them, and they. So these are the Gentiles. They doing their thing. You got one set of Gentiles
fighting against
another set of Gentiles. But Yahweh's created us in this Roman, the Gentile Roman. That's right. As you said, what did you call it? The fragmented
Roman Empire. Yes, sir. Yeah. Yes, sir. You know, and so the nations are fighting against nations, just as they've been doing. And Yahshua warned us of these things. So we see that that's what's happening now.
Why do the heathen rage?
Why do they rage? Praise God. Yes, sir.
Praise God.
But we say all that to say, fret not. You know. Right. But keep your eyes open on the things but take note to the things that are taking place.
Exactly.
But understand that every country has its own media, and understand that it's going to use every country does propaganda. In Russia, they're going to use the state TV for propaganda. Right. And it's the same thing will take place in any country. Right. This is understood. Yeah. So you got to take the time to do some research and form a good perspective. Yes, sir.
We're on verse, let me go to 28 again.
Yes, sir.
Prepare against her the nations with the kings of the Medes, the captains thereof, and all the rulers thereof, and all the land of his dominion. And the land shall tremble and sorrow. And for every purpose of Yahweh shall be performed against Babylon. You say you can't do anything about it. That's what you're saying. To make the land of Babylon a desolation without an inhabitant. Verse 30, the mighty men of Babylon have forborne to fight. They have remained in their holes. Their might have failed. They became as women. They have burned her dwelling places. Her bars are broken. One post shall run to meet another, and one messenger to meet another, to show the king of Babylon that his city is taken at one end. Verse 32, and that the passages are stopped, and the reeds they are burned with fire, and the men of war are frightened. Verse 33, for thus says Yahweh of hosts, the God or the Elohim of Israel, the daughter of Babylon is like a threshing floor. It is time to thresh her. Yet a little while, and the time of her harvest shall come. Verse 34, Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, have devoured me. Now, so we're back in a different fight.
We're back. See, we're dealing with dual prophecy.
Okay, it's dual prophecy.
We're going to a near prophecy now.
Okay. Nebuchadnezzar, the king of Babylon, have devoured me. He hath crushed me. He hath made me an empty vessel. He hath swallowed me up like a dragon. He hath filled his belly with my delicates. He hath cast me out. Verse 35. The violence done to me and to my flesh be upon Babylon. Shall the inhabitants of Zion say, and my blood upon the inhabitants of Chaldea? Shall Jerusalem say? Again, we're in Jeremiah 51, verse 36. Therefore, thus says Yahweh, behold, I will plead thy cause and take vengeance for you, and I will dry up her sea and make her springs dry. Verse 37, and Babylon shall become heaps, a dwelling place for dragons, an astonishment, and a hissing without inhabitant.
Now we know people dwell in Babylon today.
That's right, they're there now.
So yeah.
Arab people.
That's right.
Okay. Verse 38, they shall roar together like lions. They shall yell as lions' whelps. In their heat I will make their feast, and I will make them drunken, that they may rejoice and sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, says Yahweh. Oh, man. Verse 40, I will bring them down like lambs to the slaughter, like rams with the he-goats. Verse 41, how is Shishak taken?
And Shishak is just another name for Babylon.
Another name for Babylon,
yes,
thank you. How is Shishak taken? How is the praise of the whole earth? That's a telltale sign.
This is a sign.
How is the praise of the whole earth surprised? How is Babylon become an astonishment among the nations?
Okay.
Now that's, how is she surprised?
See?
Okay.
Yeah. Now, this hasn't happened.
Yes, sir, now.
Yeah.
Verse 42. The sea is come upon Babylon. She is covered with the multitude of the waves.
Now, both Babylon did not have seas.
That's right.
Okay.
That's good points, bro.
Just rivers.
The sea is come up upon Babylon. She is covered with the multitude of the waves thereof. Her cities are a desolation, a dry land, and a wilderness, a land wherein no man dwelleth. Therefore, where no man dwelleth, neither doth any son of man pass thereby. And I will punish Baal in Babylon. And I will bring forth out of his mouth that which he hath swallowed up. And the nations shall not flow together any more unto him. Yea, the wall of Babylon shall fall. So who is this Baal?
Baal. That's the Lord.
That's the Lord. That's a God.
That's a God. That's a deity.
See, nobody can be worshiping no more, right?
They're not going to worship him no more.
Verse 45.
He got many names in these days.
Oh, man. You got that right.
Yes, sir.
Verse 45. My people, go you out of the midst of her, and deliver you every man his soul from the fierce anger of Yahweh.
So this is where the people are. This is where the people are in the state of urgency right now.
Right. Okay, there it is. This is rush.
They're being rushed now.
Right. And this is Israel. This is my people. Right. It's us, right?
That's right.
It's the children of Israel.
Children of Israel.
Verse 46. Unless your heart faint. Man, see, this is we ain't been through nothing like that.
That's right.
So we don't know what we ain't seen nothing like this.
No, you know
what you saying?
The people it's like the people in Ukraine right now are on a heightened sense of urgency.
Exactly.
You know, they can't sleep. If they hear planes flying over, it's worrisome. The children can't sleep. Everyone's on a heightened sense.
Right.
You know, war is not pretty. War is ugly. If one has never experienced that or been through that, then that's not something to wish. Like, and then we're not talking about just a regular war. This is the time of Yahweh's vengeance.
Right, vengeance, Yahweh's vengeance.
This is not going to be a pretty sight. Yeah.
Man. Well, again, verse 46, unless your heart faint, and you fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land, a rumor shall both come 1 year, and after that, in another year, shall come a rumor. And violence in the land, ruler against ruler.
Governor against governor.
Governor against governor.
Sir.
Civil war.
That's right.
Of sorts.
Yes.
Right.
And we've heard many rumors of that.
Right here.
Right here in the daughter of Babel. We hear rumors of war.
Raided, kind of rushed the capital.
That's right.
Last year.
That's right. Yeah.
But wow. Verse 47. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Then the heaven and the earth and all that is therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoilers shall come unto her from the north.
From the north,
saith Yahweh. As Babylon has caused the slain of Israel. Okay. See, man, brother, you hit, I love this, man. You don't,
praise
this is deep here, brother Obadiah. As Babylon had caused the slain of Israel to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth.
All the earth. That's right. Yes, sir. For he that touches you, touches the apple of his eye. That's what he always says.
That's right.
Yeah, he's going to recompense it.
Verse 50. Ye that have escaped the sword, go away. Stand not still. Remember Yahweh afar off.
Okay.
And let Jerusalem come into your mind.
All right. You that have escaped the sword.
That's right.
Right.
Oh.
So so we know that there's going to be a sword coming on this land.
Right.
But
yeah,
there's things that we have to watch for.
Exactly. It's
so
deep, man.
Yes, sir.
Verse 51. We are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame have covered our faces. For strangers are come into the sanctuaries of Yahweh's house. Wherefore, behold, the days come, says Yahweh, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all her land the wounded shall groan. Verse 53. Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, saith Yahweh.
This ain't no man's doing.
No matter what kind of power you got.
His mouth spoken. Yeah. He said it's gonna come from me.
I'm saying it. Yeah. Okay. Verse 54. A sound of a cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. Verse 55. Because Yahweh hath spoiled Babylon and destroyed out of her the great voice, when her waves do roar like great waters, a noise of their voice is uttered. Because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. Every one of their bows is broken, for Yahweh Elohim of recompenses shall surely requite. And I will make drunk her princes, and her wise men, her captains, and her rulers, and her mighty men, and they shall sleep a perpetual sleep, and not wake, saith the king, whose name is Yahweh of hosts. 58. Thus says Yahweh of hosts, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. Verse 59. The word which Yirmiyahu the prophet commanded Seraiah, the son of Neriah, the son of Messiah, when he went with Zedekiah, the king of Yehudah, into Babylon in the 4th year of his reign, and this Seraiah was a quiet prince. So Yirmiyahu wrote in a book all the evil that should come upon Babylon, even all these words that are written against Babylon. Verse 61. And Yirmiyahu said to Seraiah, when thou comest to Babylon, and shall see and shall read all these words, then shalt thou say, O Yahweh, thou hast spoken this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but that it shall be desolate forever. Verse 63. And it shall be, when thou hast made an end of reading this book, that thou shalt bind a stone to it, and cast it into the midst of Euphrates. And thou shalt say, thus shall Babylon sink, and shall not rise from the evil that I will bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far are the words of Yirmiyahu.
Praise Yah. So he says, Babylon shall sink. He says the seas shall cover her land. So we know that ancient Babylon did not fall in this manner. So this is a prophecy of a time to come.
Praise Yah.
So, it's more that we want to cover. I just want to go one more place.
Okay,
I see the time running on.
Yes, praise Yah. Let the Spirit do what He's going to do.
See what the Spirit doing. So
okay.
We can go here. So we read earlier in the Gospel of Matthew that no man knows the day or the hour. However, we were given signs to watch for, so that we might be able to better discern the times that we're living in. Yahweh our Elohim is a mighty and great king. Dreadful and terrible will be the time of Yahweh's vengeance upon Babylon, as we just read in Jeremiah chapter 51, verse 6, as well as verse 11. It is also written that we shall not leave in haste. So let's go to the prophet Isaiah, and or Isaiah, and let's read chapter 52.
Okay. Let's right to it. Go ahead.
We'll we'll pick it up at verse 1. We'll read the whole chapter, a few verses.
Okay.
Isaiah chapter 52.
Verse 1. Awake, awake, put on thy strength, O Zion. Put on thy beautiful garments, O Jerusalem, the holy city. For henceforth there shall no more come into thee the uncircumcised and the unclean. Make thyself from the dust. Shake thyself from the dust. Arise and sit down, O Jerusalem. Loose thyself from the bands of thy neck, O captive daughter of Zion.
Right.
For thus says Yahweh, you have sold yourselves for naught, and you shall be redeemed without money. For thus says Yahweh Elohim, my people went down aforetime into Egypt to sojourn there, and the Assyrian oppressed them without cause. Verse 5. Now therefore, what have I here, says Yahweh, that my people is taken away for naught, for nothing? They that rule over them make them to howl, saith the Lord, or Yahweh, I apologize for that, says Yahweh. And my name continually, every day, is blasphemed. Therefore my people shall know my name.
That's right.
Therefore they shall know in that day that I am he that doth speak. Behold, it is I. How beautiful upon the mountains are the feet of him that bringeth good tidings, that publisheth peace, that bringeth good things, that bringeth good tidings of good, that publisheth salvation, that saith unto Zion, thy Elohim reigneth.
Thy Elohim reigneth, O Judah. See? Yeah.
Verse 8, thy watchmen shall lift up the voice, with the voice together shall they sing, for they shall see eye to eye, when Yahweh shall bring again Zion. Break forth into joy, sing together, ye waste places of Jerusalem. For Yahweh hath comforted his people. He hath redeemed Jerusalem. Yahweh hath made, read that again, verse 10. Yahweh hath made bare his holy arm in the eyes of all the nations.
And we know this is Yahshua.
Okay, praise God.
This is when at his return. Yes.
And all the ends of the earth shall see the salvation of our Elohim.
Right. The lightning shall go forth, as it says, from the east to the west.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Verse 11. Depart ye, go you out from thence. Touch no unclean thing. Go you out of the midst of her. Be ye clean that bear the vessels of Yahweh.
So this harkens back to the law.
Okay.
He says, be you clean. He says, touch no unclean thing. Be you clean, you that bear the vessels of Yahweh. Right? Depart you, though. Depart you. Go you out. Go you out from thence. Right? We read that. We read in the book of Jeremiah that Yahweh said he's going to bring famines upon the land.
That's right.
Right? So that will empty her land and will cause you to depart.
Right.
Yes, sir. So there's going to be a time for this. Yeah.
Praise God for the teach this. This is good information, brother. Verse 12. For you shall not go out with haste, nor go out. Let me read that again. I apologize. Verse 12. For you shall not go out with haste, nor go by flight. For Yahweh will go before you, and the Elohim of Israel will be your reward. Verse 13. Behold, my servant shall deal prudently. He shall be exalted and extolled and be very high. Verse 14. As many were astonished at thee, his visage was so marred more than any man, and his form more than the sons of men. So shall he sprinkle many nations. The kings shall shut their mouths at him. For that which had not been told them shall they see, and that which they had not heard shall they consider.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. Let's go back, to chapter 51. we can go back.
Okay, book of Isaiah?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
Isaiah chapter 51.
Okay.
This is going to be the last one.
Go ahead, brother.
We'll read the whole chapter,
Okay.
verse 1 through 23.
Okay. Hearken to me, you that follow after righteousness, ye that seek Yahweh, look unto the rock, hallelujah,
Praise
whence
God.
you are hewn, and to the hole of the pit, whence you are digged. Look unto Abraham your father, and unto Sarah that bare you, for I called him alone, and blessed him, and increased him. Hallelujah.
Praise God.
For Yahweh shall comfort Zion, he shall comfort all her waste places, and he will make her wilderness like Eden, and her desert like the garden of Yahweh. Joy and gladness shall be found therein, thanksgiving and the voice of melody. Hearken unto me, my people, and give ear unto me, O my nation, for a law shall proceed from me, and I will make my judgment to rest for a light of the people. Verse 5. My righteousness is near, my salvation is gone forth, and mine arms shall judge the people. The isles shall wait upon me, and on my arm shall they trust.
And this is Yeshua.
Okay.
Yeah. This is arm. That's his arm that he's going to reveal unto the nations.
Okay. Praise God.
Praise God.
Verse 6. Lift up your eyes to the heavens and look upon the earth beneath. For the heavens shall vanish away like smoke, and the earth shall wax old like a garment. And they that dwell therein shall die in like manner. But my salvation shall be forever, and my righteousness shall not be abolished.
Now that's referencing to a future time. This
Exactly.
is where this old earth, or this earth, will pass away. He said he's going to, this is the beginning of destruction of the old heaven and earth.
So this is the new heaven and new earth.
And this is
so this
the
is
new
something
heaven and the new earth. This is far to come.
far to come.
Yes, sir.
Verse 7. Hearken unto me, ye that know righteousness, hallelujah,
Praise
the
God.
people in whose heart is my law. Fear you not the reproach of men, neither be you afraid of their revilings.
That's right.
For the moth shall eat them up like a garment, and the worm shall eat them like wool. But my righteousness shall be forever, and my salvation from generation to generation. That's to my eternal life. Would you say that's eternal
That's
life?
right. Yes, sir.
Verse 9. Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of Yahweh. Awake, as in the ancient days, in the generations of old. Art thou not it that have cut Rahab and wounded the dragon?
That was Egypt and Pharaoh.
Okay. Verse 10. Art thou not it which have dried the sea, the waters of the great deep, that have made the depths of the sea a way for the ransom to pass over?
This is when he dried up the Red Sea and allowed them to walk over on dry land.
Call us the ransom,
That's
our
right.
forefathers.
He ransomed them. That's right.
Oh man, praise God.
That's right.
Verse 11.
Praise.
Therefore, the redeemed of Yahweh shall return. Okay, it's something else now, right?
Yes, sir.
Now we were the ransom, now it's the redeemed.
This is the redeemed.
Therefore, the redeemed of Yahweh shall return and come with singing unto Zion, and everlasting joy shall be upon their head. They shall obtain gladness and joy, and sorrow and mourning shall flee away. Praise God.
Praise God.
I, even I, am he that comforteth you. Who art thou, that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the son of a man which shall be made as grass?
Yahweh comforts his people.
Exactly. So we shouldn't be afraid of nothing.
No.
What you're saying?
No.
Based on this, the things that are coming and
Take no thought for your life, he says. You know, we can't make a hair stand up on our head. We can't make a hair grow on our head. I mean, we can worry ourselves about the things that may come tomorrow.
make them right.
But we may not even be here tomorrow.
Right. That's true. So well spoken, brother. That's so true. So true. It says, verse 13, and forget, I, even I, and he that comforts you, Who art thou that thou shouldest be afraid of a man that shall die, and of the Son of Man which shall be made of brass? Verse 13. And forgettest Yahweh thy Maker, that hath stretched forth the heavens, and laid the foundations of the earth, and has feared continually every day because of the fury of the oppressor, as if he were ready to destroy? And where is the fury of the oppressor?
Right.
Verse 14. The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed, and that he should not die in the pit, nor that his bread should fail.
So this is where we are right now.
The captive exile?
Yeah, this is where we are right now. See, and Judah is crying out because he feels like his bread is about to fail.
Brother, you're so right.
Yeah, this is the time we are.
You hear that all the time. Store up some food.
Yes, sir.
We're gonna do this. I said, but hold on now. Yahweh got this.
Yeah.
Man, that's true.
You got to be wise and I mean, Joseph, when he received warning of what was to come, he laid up in store, you know. But the people were afraid. He wasn't afraid. He told him, said, "Look, I got a plan. This is what we're gonna do. We're gonna store up this amount of grain, and we're gonna give a fifth part. The fifth part is gonna be Pharaoh."
Right.
And he made that a law in all the land. The fifth part. Money failed in Egypt, right? And so we're coming to a time of, hey, money just failed in Russia. The ruble crashed 80% yesterday. Wow. People were withdrawing all their money out because they're about to lose all their savings. Right? Inflation is about to skyrocket. The sanctions that they're putting upon the Russian country is not affecting Putin. It's the peoples of Russia who's being affected by it directly because they're the ones who's going to pay higher prices for the goods right now. So it's a lot of scrambling. And the same thing is going to come to this land. We understand, you know.
You know, and I see why when you made mention about that Roman Empire and this latter one, and it's strange, it's diverse, because you got NATO, you got military alliances, you got economic alliances all over the world. You got all this, but it's still that fragmented Roman Empire. So it's so different. Than any other thing in history.
That's right. Yeah. And we're not defending any nation.
No.
You know,
this
Putin is threatening to use nuclear
weapons. That's the same.
Who can survive that? You know. So, but we understand that Yahweh is going to raise up the spirit of the beings,
right?
You know,
to carry out what he wants
to carry out his vengeance. Exactly. But none of them are good. We understand this. So
we just see it. Yahweh just like Allah open this book for us to read, not to take their side. We take Yahshua HaMashiach's side.
That's right.
Yahweh's side.
That's right.
And do what he say do.
That's right.
Get your mind right.
Get your mind
right in this book.
We just want the people to have a clear perspective. You know, that's very important. Don't be narrow-minded.
Exactly.
We want them to, you know,
see it all.
See it all.
Yeah. Praise Yah, brother.
Praise Yah, man.
Verse 14. The captive exile hasteneth that he may be loose, and that he should not die in the pit, or that his bread should fail. Verse 15. But I, Yahweh, thy Elohim, that divided the sea, whose waves roared. Yahweh of hosts is his name. And I have put my words in thy mouth, and I have covered thee in the shadow of my hand, that I may plant the heavens and lay the foundations of the earth, and say unto Zion, thou art my people.
Praise Yah.
Praise Yah. Awake, awake, stand up, O Jerusalem, which has drunk. Now, this is so deep right here. This should let us. This is for us.
That's right.
I'm sorry, but I had to just stop.
Oh,
Verse 17. Awake, awake, stand up, Jerusalem, which has drunk at the hand of Yahweh the cup of his fury. Thou hast drunken the dregs of the cup of trembling and run them out. There is none. Now, what is going? Ain't nobody went through the stuff our people have gone through on the earth.
Nobody. You go through a process of elimination.
Who's going through all this, man?
That's right.
Still going through stuff.
But the nations want to partake in the blessings.
Oh, yes.
But, yeah, they
look at this. Look, drunk the cup of fruit. We don't drunk from it.
That's right.
Man, great class, brother. Verse 18. There is none to guide her among all the sons whom she hath brought forth. Neither is there any that taketh her by the hand of all the sons that she hath brought up. Verse 19. These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for you? Desolation and destruction, and the famine, and the sword, by whom shall I comfort thee?
Mm-hmm.
Thy sons have fainted, they lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net.
You see him standing on the corners, running the blocks, right?
Right.
You see him. It's prevalent. You know, you can't even roam the streets. People are nervous. If you see a pack of our brothers on the street, they're scared to go into their
turn around.
You know.
Get back in your car.
It's sad.
Right? Yeah.
Yes, sir. Yeah.
But it's
But
right
they're full of Yahweh's fury.
That's it, brother. You hit it right there. It says, thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of Yahweh.
That's right.
The rebuke of thy Elohim. Therefore, hear now this: thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine.
They're drunk with religion. They're drunk with all kind of other
abominable things.
Yes,
sir. Verse 22. Thus saith thy Adonai. Thus says thy Adonai, Yahweh, and thy Elohim, that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand, praise Yah, I've taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, and even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again, but I will put it in the hand of them that afflict you, which have said to thy soul or thy body, bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground, as the street, to them that went over. And bro,
yes,
bro.
So man, you know, our people want vengeance, but Yahweh's vengeance is mine.
I got this.
Yahweh got this. You can't do nothing. Yeah. You can't do nothing that Yahweh do it 10 times better than you.
Exactly.
You know, and this is the time of Yahweh's vengeance. So we can't hasten Yahweh's time of vengeance because Yahweh has a appointed time for all things. He does everything decently and in order. And if he wanted us to know the day and the hour, he would have simply just let us know.
He would tell us. Right.
We would foretold all the other things. So, you know, he's always kept mysteries within it. That's where faith lies. That's what the purpose of faith is. You know, so fret not, O Israel. That's the purpose of our message. Yahshua's word was spoken and Yahweh's word was spoken, and it will not return to him void. So, you know, the signs of the times. Just take note to the signs of the times but fret not. Pay attention to what's written and utilize this time that Yahweh has given us to study his word and to get an understanding of what it is that's going to be required of us so that he may see fit and that by his grace we may be delivered out of this land. Amen. And with the things that's to come. Let us pray to be counted worthy of them that who will be delivered. For you know, we don't know what tomorrow will bring. And Yahweh's in control of all things.
All things.
You know?
All things.
So, yeah, we must remain humble and steadfast and faithful at all times. So, you know, that's my class. It was a little more that I wanted to cover, but yeah, the time is run.
Oh, brother, praise Yah, man.
Praise Yah, man.
Hey, brother, excellent class. Praise Yah, man. To Yah be the glory.
To Yahweh be
praise
the glory
Yah, man.
in all this. And we hope you enjoyed it and received something from it, people. All right? Shalom.